Welcome to my channel. Try to hear the latest story.
My fiancée announced, "I don't want a prenup. It feels like you don't trust me at all." I answered, "You're absolutely right. That was selfish of me." Then I silently recorded her midnight phone call where she laid out the plan to marry me, milk the marriage for a year, and divorce me for everything I own. That recording is scheduled to play at tomorrow night's rehearsal dinner. I'm 36, and I'm about to execute the most delicious wedding day reversal anyone has ever seen. My gold-digging fiancée believes she's walking down the aisle into a fortune tomorrow. In reality, she's walking straight into the most spectacular public unmasking imaginable. I've been with Madison, 29, for 2 years, engaged for the last 8 months. She works part-time in a small clothing store and grew up in a family that never had much money. I'm a senior software engineer with a solid tech career, good salary, nice house, comfortable but far from billionaire status. I was completely transparent about my finances from the very first months of dating because past relationships taught me that hiding money only creates bigger problems later. At first, Madison seemed unfazed. She never demanded lavish gifts, didn't push for 5-star trips, and acted like she genuinely liked me for me, not my bank account. That changed roughly 6 months ago, right after we got engaged. Suddenly, every wedding decision revolved around expense. The venue had to be breathtaking. The food had to be unforgettable. Every vendor had to be top tier. Whenever I tried to set a realistic budget, she'd burst into tears about how I was crushing her dream day and didn't want to celebrate our love the right way. I wrote it off as typical bridal stress. The real alarm bell rang 3 months ago when my attorney recommended we talk about a prenuptial agreement. I brought it up gently over dinner one night. "Hey, my lawyer suggested we look into a prenup, just basic protection for both of us." Her reaction was instant and theatrical. Tears, raised voice, the full performance. "A prenup? You're already planning our divorce? That's what this is. You don't trust me. It's only a safety net, nothing personal. What do I even own that needs protecting? This is about your money and you thinking I'm a gold digger." She sobbed that asking for a prenup made her feel unloved and accused. "I don't want a prenup. It feels like you think I'm only here for what you have." I immediately felt like the villain. "You're right. That was selfish. I trust you 100%. Forget I mentioned it." She dried her tears, hugged me, and the topic never came up again. But something about the way she cried felt practiced, like she'd rehearsed that exact scene. 2 weeks ago, my worst fears were confirmed. I was working late in my home office when Madison came back from what she called dinner with my sister. She went straight to the bedroom and shut the door, unusual for her. About half an hour later, I heard her voice drifting down the hallway. I walked closer to see if she wanted anything and froze when I caught the words. "The wedding's in 2 weeks and then the real fun begins." "You were totally right about the prenup." Tears, he caved instantly. "Once we're married, I'll start building the paper trail for the divorce. His salary plus the house equity alone is almost $1 million. I just have to fake it for 12 months. I stood there in the dark hallway listening to my fiancée map out my financial ruin with cold precision. How she'd document emotional neglect. How she'd play the perfect wife until the 1-year mark. How easy I'd been to manipulate. The worst line, "I can barely stand pretending he's interesting, but the lawyer says I need at least a year for decent alimony and half the house." Instead of bursting in, I went back to my office, heart pounding, and decided I needed proof. Over the next several days, I noticed the pattern. Every few nights, she'd close the bedroom door for another planning session. Last Friday, she had another one. This time I was ready. I stood quietly in the hallway where her voice carried clearly into the common area of my own house and hit record on my phone. What I captured was 23 minutes of pure, ice-cold fraud. She was talking to her sister Lisa again, laughing about how perfectly the crying act had worked, detailing exact divorce timelines, quoting what her lawyer had advised about alimony, asset division, and how to manufacture evidence of incompatibility. She bragged that even if she only got a fraction, it would still be life-changing money compared to slinging clothes at the boutique. That I backed up the file in multiple places and spent the weekend deciding how to handle it. Option 1. Confront her privately and cancel the wedding. Too quiet, too easy for her to spin a new story. Option 2. Expose her in front of everyone she was trying to impress. That I picked option 2. The rehearsal dinner was the next night. 40 guests, both families, wedding party, close friends. I prepared a short, special presentation for the speeches. Madison spent all day getting glammed up, beaming about how perfect everything was going to be. The dinner unfolded normally at first. Beautiful private room, great mood, champagne flowing. Lisa looked nervous the entire time. Now we know why. Speeches began around 8. Maid of honor told a cute story. Best man roasted me lightly. Then it was my turn. I stood up, smiled, and connected my phone to the portable speaker I'd brought. Before we toast to tomorrow's big day, I have something very special to share that truly reveals Madison's feelings about our marriage. Madison looked puzzled but still smiling, probably expecting a sweet video montage. This is a conversation I legally recorded in my own home last Friday night between Madison and her sister Lisa. I pressed play. Her own voice filled the room. No prenup, so I'll have claims to marital property. I just have to play perfect wife for 1 year. Even if I only get half the house and temporary alimony, it's more than I'd make in a decade. Her face drained of color. She lunged for the speaker. I stepped back. The recording kept going, specific legal strategies, timelines, laughter about how gullible I was. When the line about not being able to stand pretending I'm interesting played, audible gasps rippled through the room. That I let the worst 8 minutes run, then stopped it. The wedding is canceled. Madison, you have 48 hours to remove your belongings from my house. Pandemonium. Madison screamed that it was doctored, that I'd used AI, that it was taken out of context. You recorded me without consent. That's illegal. Actually, in my own home, in a common area where I could naturally hear everything, single-party consent applies. It's 100% legal. Lisa tried to bolt. Guests physically blocked her, demanding answers. Madison's dad stood up, voice shaking. Madison, tell me right now, is this real? She couldn't. She just kept shrieking that everything was fake while her own words hung in the air. Guests started leaving in shock. Madison's parents dragged her out, but not before her father turned to my family and apologized for raising a daughter capable of this. My side stayed behind to help me process the chaos. Saturday morning, Madison showed up with Lisa, hysterical. You humiliated me in front of everyone. You planned to rob me blind while smiling to my face. The recording speaks for itself. We were just venting. Wedding stress. Venting about specific alimony timelines and consulting divorce attorneys? She had nothing. They packed her stuff that afternoon while she alternated between rage and fake tears, still refusing to admit the obvious. Sunday the phone started blowing up. Friends who'd heard, wanting the full story. The truth was already doing the work for me. Update 2-3 weeks later, 3 weeks after the rehearsal dinner explosion. The fallout has been glorious. Madison is now permanently branded as the woman who tried marriage for money fraud. Word spread like wildfire through both families' social circles. She spent the first week frantically claiming the recording was taken out of context or a joke. But nobody can explain away 23 minutes of detailed legal strategy as a prank. Lisa has become a social outcast too. Everyone knows she was an active co-conspirator. Madison's parents called 10 days later begging me to handle this quietly. There's nothing quiet about attempted fraud. She needed to be exposed so no other man falls into the same trap. But her reputation, her future, she destroyed that herself the moment she decided fraud was a career move. Madison tried sending mutual friends to plead for a private meeting. I declined. The evidence is crystal clear. She's now moved back in with her parents. The boutique paycheck can't support an independent life without the payday she was counting on from me. Best of all, every eligible guy in a 3-county radius has heard the recording and knows exactly what she is. Her dating prospects are effectively zero. Her former maid of honor even messaged me. "Thank you for playing that. Something always felt off. She never talked about you like a woman in love." Now we all know why. Final update, 2 months later, 2 months post-cancellation, and the story has settled into legend. Madison apparently consulted a lawyer about suing me for invasion of privacy. The lawyer took one look at the circumstances and told her to drop it. My recording was airtight and only documented her own planned crime. A month ago, she moved several hours away to start over. Smart move. Locally, she's radioactive. 3 weeks ago, I started seeing someone new. When I told her the whole saga, her response was perfect. That's exactly why prenups were invented. This new relationship is refreshingly drama-free. No hidden agendas. No wondering if affection is real. Last week, Madison texted from her new city. "I hope you're happy. You ruined my life over private phone calls." I didn't reply. Planning fraud isn't a private phone call, and she ruined her own life the day she chose deception. The rehearsal dinner wasn't revenge, it was prevention. She spent 2 years grooming me for a payday and got publicly unmasked instead. Her own words did all the heavy lifting. Everyone who heard that recording now understands that marriage fraud is real, and some men actually pay attention when something feels off. Madison wanted 1 year of fake love followed by a massive divorce settlement. She got permanent reputational destruction and a fresh start in a new city with zero trust left. Lesson learned the hard way. Never plot fraud when the target might be listening.